The river that lifted everyone. How intentional acts of helping others raise the whole city. The river never slept. It breathed, shifted, whispered, and carried the river city forward, one gentle current at a time. Thousands of boats were tied together with rope, chain, and trust. Homes, shops, gardens, walkways, and bridges floated as one living body, rising and falling with the water's mood. From above, the city looked like a mosaic of wood and cloth and color, stitched together by human intention. And every morning, before the bells rang, Tamzin would step onto her narrow deck and pause. She did not pause to plan her work. She did not pause to worry about money or weather or the slow creaking of the planks beneath her feet. She paused to ask herself a single question. Who can I help today? Tamzin had learned, through experience rather than instruction, that this question changed the way the day unfolded. On days when she forgot to ask it, the city felt louder, heavier, and more demanding. On days when she remembered, something unseen seemed to open. The river responded. People responded. Life flowed more easily. She had not always lived this way. Years ago, when she first arrived in River City, she was tight with fear. Fear of not having enough food, fear of her boat breaking loose in the night, fear that if she gave anything away, she would be left with nothing. River City had a way of revealing what people carried inside them. The water reflected more than faces. It reflected states of being. Back then, Tamzin clutched her supplies as if the river itself might steal them. She kept to herself, avoided eye contact, and measured every interaction for personal cost. Her days felt long, and her nights were restless. Then one morning, her neighbor's boat drifted loose. It was a small thing at first, just a rope, fraying quietly where no one noticed. But the current noticed. Tamzin saw the boat begin to slide away, inch by inch, the way trouble often starts. She hesitated. Helping would take time. It would cost effort. It would mean stepping away from her own concerns. Something in her chest tightened. Then, just as quietly, something softened. She grabbed a pole, jumped the gap between boats, and hooked the drifting hull. Her hands burned as she pulled. Her arms shook, but the boat stopped. The neighbor, an elderly man named Rowan, stared at her as if she had handed him back his life. "Thank you," he said, voice trembling. The words landed differently than Tamzin expected. They did not feel like a transaction. They felt like alignment. That night, Tamzin slept deeply for the first time in months. From that day forward, she began to notice a pattern. When she helped intentionally, even in small ways, her emotions lifted. When her emotions lifted, her thoughts softened. When her thoughts softened, life met her with less resistance. The city did not change. She did. River City was full of people carrying invisible weights. A mother balancing crates while soothing a child. A fisherman grieving a poor catch. A merchant afraid of losing business to the currents of chance. Tamzin began offering help without being asked. Not dramatically, not heroically, just intentionally. She held ropes, shared tools, listened without fixing, smiled when it mattered most. Each act felt like dropping a pebble into water. The ripples spread farther than she could see. One afternoon, a storm rolled in faster than expected. Dark clouds folded over the city, and the river's mood shifted from playful to serious. Boats strained against their bindings. People shouted warnings across the walkways. Fear began to move like a second current. Tamsin felt it rise in her chest. The old tightening returned. She paused. Who can I help today? She moved through the city, as if guided, tightening knots, calming voices, sharing food with those who had none prepared. Others noticed, not her specifically, but the feeling she carried. One person helping made it easier for another to do the same. Fear loosened its grip. Trust took its place. By nightfall, the storm passed. The city held. No one declared Tamsin a hero. No statue was raised, but something fundamental shifted in the air of River City. Helping became contagious. Rowan began watching ropes more carefully, not just his own. The fishermen started sharing excess catch on good days. The merchant began offering repairs before payment was discussed. None of it was forced. None of it was preached. It arose naturally from better feeling moments stacking gently on top of each other. Tamsin understood then what she had been missing before. Helping others was not about sacrifice. It was about alignment. When she acted with intention and care, her inner state lifted. When her inner state lifted, she matched something larger and kinder than fear. The river mirrored this truth. When boats worked together, the city moved smoothly. When they fought the current alone, strain and damage followed. Years passed. New arrivals came, carrying the same fears Tamsin once held. And without instruction, without rules, the city showed them another way. Someone would help them steady their boat. Someone would offer food. Someone would listen. And slowly, quietly, the question would take root in them too. Who can I help today? The river never slept, but now it carried a city that remembered how to lift itself, one intentional act at a time.